Hey everyone, I'm back. Excuse my makeup, I just slapped it on, and excuse my hair, I literally look like the grunge. I actually recently watched that movie, and the only difference is I don't have black hair. And I really want to try ghost hunting sometime before the end of this summer, but, I have a feeling that's not gonna happen, because there are haunted places everywhere where I live. Well, they cost money, and I'm saving money right now, so hopefully I can get money saved up for Gettysburg next summer, and I highly doubt it, but I'm also aiming for Salem, because Pennsylvania is, I'm so bad at geography. I know Salem is up here in Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania's like down here. So they're probably like a day or two away from each other. I don't know. I never been to Salem, so I wouldn't know. But I would love to go to Salem. It will be a new place. And there are still some places in Gettysburg that I haven't been yet. And one of them is the Town Inn and the Tilly Pierce House. And I will post my video about the Tilly Pierce at least on the end of this video. But without any further introduction, let's get started. And man, I look like the freaking grunge. I literally need to brush my hair the next time. So again, excuse my hair. But yeah. In the late 1920s, the Cunard Line faced an aging fleet of ocean liners, which included the Meridiana and growing competition for the rival companies. Of particular concern was the French line, which had several prominent vessels and would later build the Normandine. The first ocean liner that some consider the most elegant to ever sail. Cunard's answer was the Queen Mary, and its sister ship, the Queen Elizabeth. Both were designed to be large luxurious and powerful. Construction of the Queen Mary began in 1930, although the work halted for 2 years because of the Great Depression. In 1934, Ocean Liner was launched, at which at the time christened its namesake Queen Mary. And work was completed 2 years later at 1,1900 feet and 311 meters. That's a big ass ship. Probably not as big as the Titanic, though. And the only thing I can probably do about the Titanic is the museum, because they have several. I never been there. I really want to go, even though it's sad. They have several items that they've recovered from from actual people that were on there, and it's haunting because the energy that is still connected to those items, and I'm like, I want to know. The ship was never elegant as the northern main and somewhat slower cruising speed at 28.5 knots for Normandy and had for the Queen Mary, while the French rival was 29 knots. You need to learn how to read. But its luck was much better. The nominee were at the dock in New York in February of 1942, embarked on his maiden voyage traveling south from England to New York City, where, with a stop in Cherbourg, France, the voyage took about 5 days. England to New York. Sounds like the Titanic. but it's not. That's I'm getting vice versa mixed up. Was it New York to England or England to New York? It was one of the two. The voyage took about 5 days. Noted that the comfort and elegance, the ship became popular with celebrities, politicians, and other prominent people. And many and I knew I had to say, according to my grandmother, who is my nanny, she passed away in 2021. But I don't know if he worked on it. I really wish I got more information. But my nanny did say that her husband, who I never met, was actually at least on the Queen Mary. And I was like, whoa. Including two swimming pools, a museum, a library, and a hospital. Decorated in the Art Deco style, it features striking murals and paintings. In addition to the Queen Mary, became known for its speed. In 1936 to 37, and again in 1938 to 52, the ship held the blue ribbon for fastest average speed for crossing the Atlantic. When World War II started, in September of 1939, the Queen Mary was en route into New York. After completing the voyage, the liner suspended its commercial service and was refitted as a troop ship. Reportedly, the fastest and largest vessel during the war, the Queen Mary could reach the top speed of 32.5 knots, which was faster than many German U-boat troop drones, and was capable of reporting for carrying the most passengers. 16,683 people, 943 crew, and 15,740 troops. In October 1942, the ship was involved in a fatal accident near Ireland when it collided with the escort ship HMS Kurakoa. And if I pronounce any names wrong, I apologize. There's a lot of French names in this ship's involvement, and I'm not good with French. So, yeah, yeah. Maybe I need a French dictionary. The Queen Mary was some 20 times larger than and it sliced through the cruiser which sank. Nearly 340 crew members on the Contora were killed. After the war, the Queen Mary resumed its career as a passenger liner. Following the retrospect, the ship made its first post-war commercial voyage in July 1947. It enjoyed a huge popularity until the 1960s, when airplane travel led to dwindling interest in transatlantic liners. However, in 1966, Cunard announced that it was selling the ship. The following year, in the city Long Beach, California, bought the Queen Mary for $3.45 million, planning to turn it into a hotel for a tourist attraction. In October of 1967, the Queen Mary departed for Long Beach on its last voyage. Hoping to pass through the Panama Canal, the ocean liner had to sail around Cape Horn, southern Chile. After a 39-day trip, it arrived in December. The ship then underwent extensive renovations that cost about $31 million. In 1971, the liner began hosting tours, and by the year's end, a proportion of this museum of the seas was open to the public. Queen Mary Hotel began accepting guests following year, and several restaurants were added in 1983. So, before I continue, the Queen Mary is literally like a little town on one cruise liner. And I'm like, I really want to go there one day, and just seeing the Queen Mary in person would be amazing. But room B40, I might have to pass that one up, and you'll see why soon. Howard Hughes's Brute Boots, the world's largest flying boat, was installed next to the Queen Mary as an additional attraction. However, the plane was moved to Oregon in 1992. I swear I just saw someone standing right there in the corner of my eye. Did anyone see that? Okay. I know my house is haunted, but nothing has happened in a while. And my dog is licking her paws at me. Eddie! Several occasions, Longby struggled to find firm willing to close in 1992, though it reopened the following year. The ship also closed in 2022 during the COVID-19 pandemic. After the operator filed for bankruptcy, the city took over the ship in 2021. It was determined that the Queen Mary needed expensive and costly repairs. According to the reports, the Corridor ship wanted to name the ship Victoria, honoring Queen Victoria, while the following company customs of usually naming that ship ended in an IA when representatives sought to approval for her grandson Kingsborn V, when reportedly told him, "We have decided to name our ship after England's greatest queen." George V allegedly responded, "My wife, Queen Mary, will be delighted that you are naming the ship after her." Construction of the ship halted during the Great Depression and resumed only with a loan from the British government. One of the conditions was the Cardinal and its rival White Star Line would merge During World War II, the Queen Mary was nicknamed the Great Ghost. And these are little facts that I found. A reference to its speed and battleship gray color. Adolf Hitler was allegedly offered a sizable reward to a German U-boat, a commander who sank the Queen Mary. However, according to reports, the ship was never fired at. By the end of the war, the Queen Mary had transported some 810,000 troops. The ship was also known as the Ship of Woods because it featured some 50 types of wood. Its sister ship, the Queen Elizabeth, was a service from 1940 to 1968. While being converted into a sea-going university, it caught fire and sank in 1972. When I read that, I was like, that sucks. That would be so cool to be on an ocean liner at as a university. That would be really cool. Oh no, I'll probably eat seafood for the rest of my life. Yeah. I don't mind seafood, but it's not my favorite anymore. Yeah. Right? Now time for the hauntings. The Queen Mary is renowned for its purported hauntings, with numerous stories and reported paranormal activity, making it a popular destination for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. Among the most haunted locations on the first area, the first class swimming pool, the engine room, and particularly stateroom B340. Closed for decades, the area is reportedly haunted by a ghost of a young girl, Zachy, who is said to have drowned in the pool. Witnesses have reported hearing splashing, seeing wet footprints, and even a glimpse of a young girl in a 1930s bathing suit. The engine room, particularly the area around door 13, is said to be haunted by a young crewman crushed to death during a drill. And what's with the number 13 always being bad luck and haunted and all of that? It's always 13 and 7. Weird. He is described as wearing a blue coveralls and a beard, sometimes seen walking through a south alley before disappearing at the door. The other paranormal activity includes the alley with includes the strange noises and the feeling of being touched or hair tugged. This stateroom originally Hello? The stateroom of literally three separate rooms have been cited numerous reports of paranormal activity, including disembodied voices, unexplained noises, shadowy figures, and the feeling of being touched. It was closed for many years due to the intensity of the activity, but has reopened as a haunted attraction. The Area Room, known as the Garden Lounge, is another location where ghostly encounters have been reported, including the vanishing of a young woman in the middle of the room after she was seen sitting in a chair. The isolation ward was also mentioned a place where many deaths occurred where the paranormal activity is frequently reported. Some believe that the Queen Mary's history, including numerous deaths and wartime experience, has left behind a residual energy that manifests as paranormal activity. Others believe that the ship is home to the spirits of those who lived and died on board, both crew members and passengers. Some skeptics suggest that some of the reporting of paranormal activity, particularly the stateroom B340, may be the result of Disney's efforts to create a haunted attraction, including special effects and fabric stories. The Queen Mary. Very old, majestic, mysterious. Is it really haunted? I don't know because I've never been there. But I've seen many, many shows and YouTube videos about the Queen Mary, and weird things have happened to the people in the videos and TV shows. But with who knows? maybe when they can explore the Queen Mary, probably not go to view room 340 though, because they even have, from what I saw on Sam and Colby's video, they even have what happens written on, plastered on the wall, and they even have a directions on how to play Bloody Mary in the bathroom. Why? But anyway, thank you guys for watching my channel and videos. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I am Haunting and I'll spook you later. The paranormal is my playground. And until next time, pleasant dreams.